Hi friends, it's Amy. Welcome to my bookish life. And today I want to talk about the books that I will be prioritizing in the month of April. So let's get to it. I have two book clubs that I'm a part of that have set books. And the first one is my library in-person book club, and we are reading A Beautiful Terrible Thing, a memoir of marriage and betrayal by Jen Waite. Because it is a memoir, knowing that this is a true story, this is definitely not a book that I would normally gravitate towards. However, it is a book that if I didn't know it was a memoir, I would probably think sounds really interesting. So let me just tell you what it's about. Jen Waite loves her husband. Marco is sexy, funny, her best friend, and he makes her feel like the most important person in the world. When they have their first baby, her life feels perfect. But then just 3 weeks later, she accidentally reads an email that she was never supposed to see. And it is as if someone has aimed a wrecking ball at her life. Okay, so and up at the top it says, psychopaths are manipulative, remorseless. They feel no guilt. What would happen if you thought you might be married to one? I just think this is going to be a hard book to read, but I'm kind of here for it. I don't know. So we'll see how this goes. The other book club is Krista's patron book club, and they are reading Dear Mrs. Bird by A.J. Pearce. And this follows Emmy, who wants to be a war correspondent. And I just think it's going to be so good. I've heard so many wonderful things about this book. I won it in a giveaway from Krista. So thank you very much, dear friend. And what's really cool is that my initials are here. We have A, C, B, so it fits the Read Yourselves challenge. I feel like it's cheating, but I don't care. It's gonna work. All right, and then I have some buddy reads that I am prioritizing. So the first one is the next Keeper of the Lost Cities, Flashback. This is book 7. I am so excited to see more from Sophie and Dex and Fitz and all of the gang in Keeper of the Lost Cities. I just love this. I love this series so much. It grabs you from the very start, pulls you in, and will not let you go. I am absolutely thrilled to continue this. All right, and next I'm going to be buddy reading Surviving Savannah by Patti Callahan with Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library. I happened to see this book in one of her videos, and I was like, you have that book? I have that book? Let's read that book. And she was like, heck yeah. So Patti Callahan is so good at doing research for her novels. I just love the connection that I feel to history as I'm reading them. I am very excited to get to this one, and it's very apt that we are reading about the Pulaski, known as the Titanic of the South, in April, because April is when the Titanic actually sank. When Savannah history professor Everly Winthrop is asked to guest curate a new museum collection focusing on artifacts recovered from the steamship Pulaski, she's shocked. The ship sank after a boiler explosion in 1838, and the wreckage was just discovered 180 years later. Everly can't resist the opportunity to try to solve some of the mysteries and myths surrounding the devastating night of its sinking. Everly's research leads her to the astounding history of a family of 11 who boarded the Pulaski together, and the extraordinary stories of 2 women from this family, a known survivor, Augusta Longstreet, and her niece, Lily Forsyth, who, along with her child, was never found. I think there's going to be some heavy material in this, but I think that it's going to be really good. Then the last book that I'm buddy reading is with Rainy from Rainy Day Reads, and we are going to read Confessions of a Prairie Bee. How I Survived Nellie Oleson and Learned to Love Being Hated by Alison Arngrim. So Alison Arngrim played Nellie in Little House on the Prairie, and Brady and I, the subject came up, and I was talking about how I really wanted to read her memoir, but I hated the fact that it had the B word in the title, and I didn't want to say that on my channel. And so Rainey was like, let's read it. And I was like, okay. So apparently all my reservations are out the door. So it says, for 7 years, Alison Arngrim played a wretched, scheming, selfish, lying, manipulative brat on one of TV history's most beloved series. Though millions of Little House on the Prairie viewers hated Nellie Oleson and her evil antics, and Arngrim grew to love her character and the freedom and confidence Nellie inspired in her. Come on! This sounds so fun. I can't wait. It is on my Kindle, so I don't have it in front of me, but I'm very excited to have another memoir on my TBR. That's just one more nonfiction that I'm going to have read during the month. The 4 that I have physically, and then I have Confessions of a Prairie Bee. And I'm very excited for April. April's going to be really fun. Aside from that, I have already mentioned in another video that I want to read some novels in verse because April is National Poetry Month. So it would be ideal for me to be able to get some of those kinds of books on my list as well. And it should be possible because 5 books is less than what I would normally read in a month. However, the fact that 2 of them are memoirs does worry me just a little tiny bit. So we will see what happens. I am very excited. I am really wondering if any of you have read A Beautiful Terrible Thing, because I never heard of it before it was chosen for my book club. So this is definitely one that I know very, very, very little about. The rest of them I have been looking forward to reading for a really long time. So I would still love to hear what you have to say about them. I'm not as unsure about them as I am about this one. So anything that you can tell me about A Beautiful Terrible Thing by Jen Waite, I would love to know. Hopefully it's good things. So yeah. What is it that you are planning on reading in April? I would love to hear what you are most excited to read in the month of April. And I didn't actually look at what the buzzword was for the month of April. So Big Little. This doesn't fit that. All right, so I'll also be trying to find a book that has big or little in the title. Can this fit? Because it's big. That works. No? Anyway, for right now, those are my 5 priorities for the month of April. I'm really excited to dig into these, to dig into some novels in verse. Maybe I can find a novel in verse that has big or little in the title. That's what I need to look into. Please chat with me down in the comments. I love seeing what you all have to say. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. And I hope you're finding something wonderful to read. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.